Ominous. China to face off with Elon Musk over SpaceX's space projects. That might sound a bit eerie because China has become a technological force to reckon with. And well, Elon Musk might be the world's richest man aiming to travel to Mars. There is stiff competition from other private space-focused tech projects for SpaceX. Now, China joins the list of bodies striving to challenge SpaceX to attain exciting milestones that are yet to be realized by the scientific world. In this video, we'll be looking at how China and Elon Musk could go head-to-head in terms of space exploration technologies. Are there any chances of conflicts arising from such a development? What are the achievements of the Chinese Space Agency so far? And how are they infringing on SpaceX's radar? China has come a long way to become probably the biggest producing company globally, especially in terms of manufactured products. Virtually every country globally finds China to be a one-stop shop to obtain raw materials or parts for creating finished products of their own. For instance, Elon Musk has been a long-term beneficiary of the Republic of China's push to become the world's most industrialized country by any means necessary. Most of Tesla's products are modeled and assembled in China. A prime example is Tesla Model 3 sedan. The car is the best-selling electric vehicle in the Chinese market, and it originated from Tesla's base plant in China. The Chinese government has, in a way, helped Tesla by offering assistance to Chinese-based EV companies, and Tesla was a huge beneficiary of the policies that resulted from the intervention. So yes, maybe they have had some sweet times together on that end, and it has been a productive venture. But China has always been known for one thing. They have never been original creators or inventors. Don't get me wrong, they have done well for themselves in terms of tech, but their Made in China brand comes with a bit of stigma that you'll have to admit. Most Chinese products are replicas of existing inventions made by other companies in other countries. What you see today in the country's tech industry is a result of a long and arduous process of copying and reproducing the manufacturing process of others. The list is inexhaustible, from fashion to electrical appliances, communication devices, and name any industrial products. There is always a Chinese version of every product made in the United States. Well, maybe they have attained a bit of focus on the originality of their products, but it's said that a leopard never changes its spots, and rightly so for China, as they have begun to copy SpaceX projects. How? It is befuddling but not unthinkable that China would apply this strategy that helped them become what they are today to further gain ground in the world of space technologies. China might be ready to compete with SpaceX with copies of their intended projects. It has been going on for a while, and it might just have to come to the surface. The competition has taken on a new shape, with China choosing not to create their technology from scratch, but adopting some of SpaceX's innovations. Many would make a stereotypical statement that, oh, the Chinese may copy a product, but it's never durable or it doesn't last long. We think that at this level of the technological advancement of China, this is no fluke. Both China and Elon Musk companies are now consistently clashing on the front of a global climate preservation with the reduction of carbon-based fuel engines, thus spiraling into what we know as electric cars. One of SpaceX's big techs that China could replicate is the case of reusable rockets. The fact is, generally, Tesla and SpaceX are mostly either leading or playing catch-up with Chinese tech, depending on specific niches in both space and energy industries. And we're about to witness a more intense battle for supremacy over the next decade. Without Elon Musk's companies technically representing the US, China would have eventually dominated the EV industry and the space industry as well. The real challenge now is that China is adopting the same approach to satellite orientation as SpaceX intends. You've heard about Starlink, the communications arm of SpaceX's projects that seeks to establish a network of internet constellation satellites floating at low orbit and located at several points of orbit around Earth. The idea behind the project is fascinating, with Elon Musk suggestively aiming to create a close network of satellites that'll offer total coverage of substantial bandwidth worldwide. It is the fast and robust network that we have always dreamed about. The network speed was said by SpaceX to be about 1 gigabit per second, which would be fascinating. That would be the result of Starlink satellites' low orbit movement, and while it held those benefits, there were a few things to be concerned about. When the project started, there were a few kickbacks about the fact that it could be entirely visible on a night sky, but it wouldn't deter SpaceX from such an innovative project. China has reportedly started a project of its own named StarNet, which leaves little to imagine how much of a ripoff from SpaceX's Starlink it was going to be, guessing from the name alone. They're not just replicating the booster system, the reusable rockets ideology, but they also intend to create their internet constellation network seemingly like Starlink's. It has never indeed been a crime for China to replicate products in the past, and maybe this one would go unchallenged as well. It might not lead to a comprehensive altercation like that, but we foresee the kind of consistency that made China a true competitor for the US. It would most likely put China on the front foot over the next 10 years. We don't expect SpaceX to stay on the spot and not push for progress in their activities. To an extent, we think that China might be unable to keep up with SpaceX, given the grand plans set in motion by Elon Musk. SpaceX has gone far ahead of most space agencies and has often participated in cooperative projects with NASA and the International Space Station. An issue of concern that seems connected to the potential problem of low-orbit satellites seemingly brought China on a collision course with SpaceX recently. The Chinese government raised the alarm to the United States about a seemingly dangerous occurrence involving two satellites presumptuously belonging to SpaceX. The Chinese have launched their space station called Tiangong, rightly translated as Heavenly Palace. According to reports, the spaceport has had two near cases of being on a crash course with Starlink satellites floating in low orbit. The first was in July, and the second observation was back in October. China raised the issue at a United Nations conference as an inherent problem that could risk the lives of astronauts aboard the spaceport. There are no longer treaties to mediate over situations like this, and China has demonstrated that the US take active steps to ensure that such an occurrence doesn't occur again. Space is not like an asphalt road where a car can veer aside and change lanes, nor what aircraft can do while navigating through the air, or even a ship on the water. We reckon that it would be difficult for astronauts to escape or leave the spacecraft because such an accident could happen without a significant warning. The news made it to several Chinese social media platforms, and both SpaceX and Tesla, which are linked through Elon Musk, have not gone unscathed, with customers venting about the dangerous near collisions. Several Chinese citizens called for a boycott of Tesla products. The certainty of the event is still questionable, as there is no visible evidence to back the claims up. The Tiangong spaceport in question is yet to be entirely constructed, and the project's completion is only due by 2022. We believe a viable conclusion will be reached with China over preventing such accidents. On the bright side, it underlines the immense progress China has recorded over the years in space. According to stats, China launched 34 rockets into space in 2020 alone despite the pandemic. To further increase the turnout of their research, they have their rocket startups trying hard to replicate SpaceX's Falcon 9 reusable rocket, especially with their Super Heavy Long March 9 rocket, whose goal is to copy SpaceX's Super Heavy Starship. China uses its military and economic capacity to expand its project, while SpaceX is commercial. Hence, we're not precisely seeing them as detrimental to each other, but there could be the option of a future collaboration between them in the future. SpaceX's project is pretty much keeping the US in contention for good space advancement. We have seen Russia and Europe gradually lose traction, and we think that they provide enough excitement about the future of the human race when it comes to space exploration. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons. Goodbye and stay safe.